Big basketball week as we get to Selection Sunday, Brownie, and nobody celebrated better than Stephen Pearl did.
Yeah, the Auburn assistant coach is with us now on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. Congratulations on the conference championship, Coach. Hope you're doing well.
Thanks, fellas. Appreciate it. All is well here. How y'all doing?
Doing great. Thanks a lot. That was a fun celebration. We saw some of the video from the local golf course there.
You know, a wise man once told me when you win the SEC outright and the year that it's probably been the best maybe in the history, you get on top of a bar and you spray cheap champagne on a bunch of old people. So just following some words of wisdom. That's all.
Look, hey, we know you're an athlete. Do you ever worry though about maybe tripping, falling off the bar? Because everybody's recording at that point. Once you get on the bar, you got the champagne out. Everybody's got the phone out.
There's no room for error. So I just had to rely on my incredible athleticism that I had in my days at Tennessee and find a way to get up there and get down safely.
Not everybody gets a chance to cut down a net. Is there an educational process with the guys? I mean, Jabari's right out of high school. I mean, where do you learn how to cut that little snippet of net that the player gets?
Yeah, we actually didn't really know that was a learning curve until, I guess, 2018 when we won the first one. Bryce Brown gets up there, and he has no idea what the hell he's doing. And he's like, he looks at me, he's like, what do I do? So I got up there on the ladder with him and basically showed him, like, the two areas that you want to cut to get yourself a nice, like, piece of the net. So we had someone that was basically down there showing them where to cut while they were up there. We didn't want to do it before the game, though, because obviously you never want to jinx yourself and teach the guys how to cut a net down, and then you lose your last two and have a huge collapse. So we decided we would just wing it once it actually happened. So it all worked out.
You mentioned Coach Stephen Pearl is with us on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. You mentioned that this is the best the SEC has been in a long time. A lot of people believe that. Some believe, and I don't argue this is the best conference in the nation right now. And I don't know how much this matters to you guys, but shouldn't winning the regular season title of the best conference in the nation carry a 1 seed?
I mean, yeah, you would think so. Just because, it does, it's very significant to win the league in a year where it's been so strong. But, you got to look at the teams that are ahead of us. And Gonzaga obviously is a very good basketball team. Arizona is, a very good basketball team. With an incredible record. And then, Baylor, who is the number one team and who would say, the other best conference in the country, which is the Big 12. So it's hard to argue with it, but I would imagine, there will be at least one seed out of the SEC this year. It kind of all depends on what we do in Tampa.
So Walker plays back-to-back games with the brace on the left shoulder. How close to 100% do you think he will be once you guys get to Tampa?
I think he's getting there every single day. Obviously, he's getting treatment on that shoulder. A couple chippy plays at Tennessee kind of injured that thing, and he's working through it. He's battling through it. You can tell that it's hindering him a little bit, especially defensively. But he's a tough kid, and he's been in the training room every single day getting treatment on that thing. So I would imagine with a couple days of good rest, he'll be closer to 100% come Friday.
New AP basketball poll is out while we're talking to Stephen. Gonzaga, Arizona, Baylor, Auburn is 4, Kentucky is 5, Tennessee is 9. So there's the power of the SEC with those teams all in the top 10 right there in the new AP poll. Arkansas is 15. All of those teams I just named, Auburn, of course, Kentucky, Tennessee, all unbeaten at home this year. Arkansas just 1 loss at home. I mean, going on the road this year was impossible at some places. Talk about the home court advantage for the best of the best in the league this year. That's remarkable that a combined, 35-1 of those 4 best teams at home this year?
Yeah, obviously, you look at those 4 teams, and that number is just ridiculous. But if you look at the league as a whole, I think in conference, like home teams had like a 70-something% win percentage in home. And that's taking into account like teams at the bottom as well. So it really just speaks to how hard it is to win road games in this conference. And then you look at, the top 4 teams, Arkansas losing their first home game of the year and then not losing in conference the rest of the way. So, all those programs are, besides Auburn, are pretty storied programs that have always had pretty significant home court advantages, and then obviously the jungle has turned into the best home court advantage in college basketball over the past couple of years. So, you look at those rosters. Obviously, all of them are very good teams, but then you add in, the fan support, the fan bases in those arenas. It makes it really hard to just go out and win. And having had gone to Bud Walton Arena and then obviously Thompson Bowling Arena, we've gone into some of the most hostile environments. So, hopefully it has us battle tested, ready for March coming down the stretch.
You play so many games, and there's such a routine that is built throughout the course of the season. Now it's not routine anymore. Now you get a break until Friday, and then you turn around, travel somewhere, and either playing Thursday or Friday the next week after hopefully 3 games down in Tampa. Do you guys have meetings as a staff to talk about how to keep guys sharp, how to sort of get a tournament routine going? Do you work on a schedule on how you manage a different kind of routine for the guys?
We try not to change things up too much. We really do, like these early season tournaments, like in the Bahamas, like that was something to kind of get us ready for Tampa, playing 3 games in 3 days. Like we try and keep it pretty simple. These next 2 days, we'll probably work more on us than we will on an opponent, since we don't know who we're going to play. And then obviously, with Texas A&M and Florida, we'll probably do a few things offensively that we thought worked in those games, just to review on those things. And then, defensively, it's hard to spend too much time getting ready for what they're going to do, because you don't want to spend a lot of time on a team you may not play. So trying to keep it simple. But the biggest thing is, the guys getting treatments, getting extra shots, getting extra workouts on their own. It's nice that we're on spring break right now, so the kids are going to get a ton of rest this week, which is great. But, just try and keep it business as usual. We'll probably go pretty hard one day this week to simulate like a Tuesday or Wednesday game, just to try and keep them, in a somewhat normalized week that we've been having in the past. And then obviously, getting down to Tampa, 3 games in 3 days, we're going to have to rely heavily on our depth to try and make a run if we can continue to win past Friday.
Few more minutes for Coach Stephen Pearl on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline way back in November. Seems like an eternity ago. You played South Florida in this arena. A listener earlier told us you're the only conference team to play in this arena this year. I don't know that to be factual, but was that one of the reasons you wanted to play that game is to get a game in that arena knowing the tournament is here?
That was the sole reason we scheduled that game.
Wow.
Mike Burgomaster, who does our scheduling, had an unbelievable idea to do this. And we've tried to do this in the past to try and get ready for these types of situations. If we were ever able to play a neutral game in Nashville at Bridgestone, we'll try and do that. When the tournament was in St. Louis, I think we tried to schedule a game with St. Louis that year. We weren't able to do it, but I just think it's important to get down there, and hopefully we got, that horrible performance out of the way, because if we had gone to Tampa on Friday and played like we did against South Florida, A&M or Florida would have beaten us by 30. So I'm glad we got that out of the way. Hopefully, just being down there, understanding, that gym, the backdrop, hopefully our guys will go down there and feel a little more comfortable in their second time around.
I would have loved the confidence if you'd scheduled one in the Superdome this year. That would have been that would have been really good.
Would have been a little ballsy.
I would agree. Yeah.
So you guys came into Saturday's game 263rd shooting the 3, and you go 10 of 23. So it's back-to-back games. You've made at least 10 threes. How big is that going into the SEC tournament?
I think it's significant. Our defense, our offense, it struggled in road games, but in really tough environments. You look at the games that we struggled at Arkansas, at Florida, at Tennessee. Those are all really hard environments against 3 of the best defensive teams in our conference. So, offensively, we weren't shooting the ball very well, but to see the guys, see a couple go in was really good, and obviously helps with their confidence. We've known that, we're very confident in our guys' abilities to shoot the ball. And we have been. And if you look up until, when we went into a little bit of a slump in the middle of conference play, we were shooting it pretty well, especially in the non-conference. So the ability is definitely there. I think it was just a matter of seeing a few going in to get that confidence back up and get back going. And hopefully we can kind of carry that over into this weekend.
I know your personality is enough where I think you've taken a second to enjoy the championship. Head coaches sometimes don't enjoy the moment. BP seems like a kind of guy who was able to enjoy Saturday. You guys had the confetti guns ready. It really worked out perfectly to be at home, to share it with the fans and everything. Did you feel like your dad has enjoyed the moment, to sort of take a moment to absorb what a special year it's been?
No, absolutely. I mean, you kind of have to. Everyone tells you got to step back and kind of appreciate it, but it's really hard, especially in the middle of the season, because every single night is an unbelievable challenge and an unbelievable test. And, you can talk to any coach around the league and they can all say the same. It's really hard to enjoy one win or really sulk over one loss for too long. But for this one, obviously it being an SEC championship over an 18-game season, you kind of had to on Saturday just take a step back, take a deep breath, enjoy it, or in my case, get on top of a bar and spray champagne on people. It works for, everyone's got their own thing. But, I know BP was definitely, and he really enjoyed it. But then obviously, the next morning he's calling me. We're talking about offense that worked against A&M in Florida. And we're in the office right now trying to figure out, how to best beat those two schools. So, it's short-lived, especially in season. But to answer your question, I think he definitely was able to really appreciate, what was accomplished on Saturday.
Well, we will let you get back to that work. Congratulations again. And as always, thank you for the time.
Thank you, man.
Thanks, fellas. Appreciate y'all. War Eagle.
All right, take care. That is Stephen Pearl, the assistant basketball coach at Auburn, with us on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline.